When we talk of mis and disinformation, what does that actually look like?
We're going to walk you through the 7 most common types of problematic content that we find online.
You'll be better prepared to spot it and help your friends and family in the community spot it too.
First up is satire and parody. Now, making fun of figures of authority or reflecting on events with humour is a reflection on life and what it is to be human. The problem is that if satirical content gets shared outside of its original context, like this April Fool's joke about penguins being able to fly, the video was produced by the BBC, but they didn't mean for people to take it seriously. But just think, what happens if someone screenshots only a headline or image and shares it in a WhatsApp messenger group? That's what happened when it was shared as if it were real on the Chinese social media platform Weibo. It also lost the original context and people's ability to look at the site and see more obvious signs that it's not meant to be taken literally.
Next up is false connection. This is when the headline or title of something doesn't necessarily match the body of the text. And you'll have seen this example in YouTube videos that have the title in all caps saying, "Watch this before it gets taken down," or a really shouty tweet with a link that's calling on you to click on something. And when you actually watch the video though, or read the content of the story, it doesn't match up. It's often not as exciting as the headline or the title made it out to be. This particular example is of a rumor that went around earlier in the pandemic in 2020, falsely claiming how alcohol could possibly prevent the coronavirus. However, because the headline just asks the question and repeats it in a little bit of subtext underneath, if that's the only thing you read and share it, then that can also become misleading. You haven't checked it out fully yet.
False context. This is one of the most problematic types of content that we see, and it's so easy to share things that have been taken out of their original context. The way it works is that a photo or video, a report, or even a PDF that was true and accurate at the time when it was published gets reshared out of its original context, sometimes months or even years later, or in a different country with different subtitles added, and possibly in a different language. We can refer to this as weaponized content. A video of a woman eating bat soup falsely claimed to show a Chinese influencer who started the pandemic. However, the woman said the video was taken in 2016 when she was visiting Palau in Micronesia. And here's another example. The caption on these 2 photos reads, "This describes the behavior of people," and tries to compare rivers in Vanuatu and Indonesia. However, the top photo of Vanuatu is actually a resort, and the bottom photo is from the Philippines capital, Manila.
Next is misleading content. This is when the information you're looking at seems to point to one thing, but if you stop and dig into it a little bit more, it actually means something completely different. A December 9th Reddit post, for example, raised concerns about the Pfizer vaccine trials, saying 4 volunteers developed facial paralysis, citing a study by Russia Today. And the claim is misleading because facial paralysis was temporary and that the 4 cases in the vaccine group do not represent a frequency above that expected in the general population.
Imposter content. This one is another of the most common types of content that we see out there. And it's when the logos or the names and the authority that we give to celebrities, famous people like governments, institutions get impersonated. In this example, the Fiji Times said this Facebook page is using its same name and it's an imposter. And here's another example. UNICEF's logo has been used to share a fabricated memo. It's easy to copy and paste official looking logos and emblems.
Manipulated content. This is when photos, images, videos, reports, or PDFs have actually been played around with and edited, sometimes not even very much. But one of the most damaging falsehoods during the pandemic came from a video of a market in Indonesia posted online in June 2019. The video showed a range of wildlife, including bats, rats, and snakes, cooked and ready to eat. The only thing was that the video was filmed in Indonesia and has nothing to do with the coronavirus. Dozens of YouTubers took the clip and removed the first few seconds, which named the true location as Langawan on the Indonesian island of Sulawesi, and added Wuhan market. Like many rumors, This was based on a kernel of truth because Wuhan does have a seafood market that stocks a variety of animals. This video just wasn't from them.
Last but not least, stuff that's been just made up. These are theories or ideas, photos or videos that might be anchored in some sort of truth so that they're easier to believe than those that have just been made up. Fabricated claims that a vaccine is spreading measles. Measles vaccine caused outbreak and killed people in Samoa, and obviously that's just been fabricated. And in another example that circulated through the Pacific, fabricated claims that COVID-19 nasal swab damages the blood-brain barrier were turned into easy-to-share memes. Now that you know the 7 types of problematic content to look out for, remember that this applies to everything that we share with each other.
Not just news articles and websites, but also screenshots, WhatsApp audio messages, memes, images, and posts on Facebook.
If we share before we've checked it out, we can also be potentially passing on misleading information.